Okay, so let's summarize, what we have learned so far about H2S. Number one, H2S stands for what? Hydrogen sulfide, okay? It's extremely terrible poisonous gas. It's a silent killer. At the level of 0.1 ppm, you will feel some rotten egg gas smell. But still, don't rely on your nose because a time will come it paralyzes your sense of smell and you can't smell anymore. So you never know how much you inhaled. And the second thing is always you will find mostly H2S in confined spaces, like drilling rigs, like tanks are there, manholes are there, vessels, or the gas plants, pipelines, wherever you have a place which is not designed for human occupancy. So you can find H2S mostly there. That is why how we can avoid from H2S. We really have to be careful. That is why this authorized gas tester is mandatory. Whenever you have any project in a confined space, make sure you have authorized gas tester who will have authority and equipment to check all the gases, at least 4 elements which are very much important. Number one, H2S. What is the level of H2S? Number two, oxygen level, because as a human being we need oxygen, right? And as per OSHA, 19.5% minimum, or as per Saudi Aramco, 20% minimum, and maximum 23.5% as per Saudi Aramco or OSHA. So this is the normal range. Below 19.5% or 20%, we have to be careful. We need SCABA. SCABA means self-contained breathing apparatus. Same way, we have to be careful about carbon monoxide. That's another toxic gas. Carbon monoxide above than 35 ppm, again SCABA is mandatory. We have LEL, lower explosive element. Again, it should also be, SCABA must also be used if LEL is above than 5%. Now, we are focusing only on H2S at this stage. Already I told you what are the properties, how terrible it could be. And even in the video, you realized how things can go wrong in seconds and minutes. And without permit, if you are going in a confined space and you are ignoring H2S, and you don't have that particular knowledge that H2S is above than 20, is heavier than air, like 20% approximate. So it's a very logical point, it will go into the lower areas. That is why it is mentioned even the excavated area deeper than 1.2 meter is a confined space. So you have to be careful about H2S. So you need to be very much clear how to find, how to test, how the gas tester can play a role. When we need to use SCABA, sometimes you have regular, there are 3 types of monitors. Fixed gas monitors, like Saudi Aramco in their gas plants, refineries, there are fixed gas plants, especially in the confined spaces nearby. So immediately all the time you can know what is level of H2S, oxygen or some other toxic gases. Same way, how we can avoid from H2S? The knowledge, the right PPs. You have to be trained. Don't work in a confined space without a standby man. You must have a wind sock. Immediately, if you must be familiar about the wind direction. Like if H2S coming from this side, in which direction you have to run? Crosswind or upwind? Because H2S is a poisonous gas. So crosswind or upwind, 2 ways are there, but in offshore, mostly upwind, but in, all other rig sites and all, always they go for crosswind. But in offshore, mostly upwind, because you can't run anywhere, right? So this is the whole scenario. But remember, H2S can kill in seconds. On the other side, you really have to bear in mind, it's extremely flammable also. That at a level of 260-degree temperature, automatically it will start burning.
It's like a hood. You must put mask. If you walk this hood, it's mask.
Exactly, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And then if it is like on the other side, if H2S goes in a way that where you don't have the right set of PPs and the level is 20 ppm or above, you are not allowed to go inside. As per Saudi Aramco, no work. You need to stop. So these are mandatory requirements, because H2S, sometime I noted 1 ppm or below 5 ppm H2S is there, and Aramco is saying what? No more project, stop it. Many of the rig sites, they stop because they can't control H2S. Might be a geological study was there, a lot of analysis was there, but unfortunately The moment they started project, H2S become, you know, and the uncontrolled position was there, and they stopped the project because they don't want to kill the people. You know, in Bhutan, in India, a lot of even in the world, you go back and check 100 years history, you'll be surprised how many people died just because of H2S. That is why we must be familiar how to tackle, how to handle. But H2S is not terrible until you play with it, until you play with nature. The moment you play with nature, you are digging, drilling, excavating, or building some tanks, pipe, manholes. Of course, there is a possibility of H2S. So you have to be careful. And on the other side, if H2S burns, it creates another gas. We call it SO2, sulfur dioxide. Again toxic. When H2S and SO2 meet together, it creates sulfuric acid, which is again more dangerous. That's why more corrosive even. So it's a corrosive gas as well. That means it's not only dangerous for the human being, even it is dangerous for the metals, pipes, steels. That is why it creates rust. Like you purchase one pipeline and the shelf life is 30 years, or like expiry date is 30 years. But because of H2S, maybe within 10 years the pipeline is over, and the shareholders and the businessmen, they are doing like this. What happened to a pipeline? Because they invested maybe $100 million for 30 years, but their money gone within 10 years. So that capital what they invested is already wasted up. That's why it's a terrible monster, I would say. So we have to be careful. And when the moment you are playing with nature, like you are in road construction mostly, so whenever you are excavating something, be more careful. And if that excavation is deeper than 1.2 meter, it's a confined space. So don't work without a work permit, don't work without proper gas testing, and gas testing with calibrated equipment. And there is LEL particular for H2S also, because LEL of H2S is 4.3%, and UEL, upper explosive limit, is 46%. So that means it can explode as well. So I'm just talking about H2S, one element. Think about carbon monoxide, think about LEL, think about some methane, ammonia, some other toxic gases. So the more you gain knowledge, more better professional and leader you would be in your project, inshallah. I hope it will help. Okay, thank you very much.